live.
We're live.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here. For those of you online, thanks so much for joining us from all over the country. We've got some folk here in real life as well. So we're going to be talking about Freeland Spirits and our Wefunder campaign. So I am going to kick us off by introing our amazing Master of Ceremonies. This is my dear friend Christy Goldsby. She is the founder, innovator, and board chair of Honey Mamas, which I'm sure many of you have enjoyed. Better for you refrigerated chocolate fudge bars, changing the status quo for functional indulgence. Been doing this for 15 years, I believe. 13 years. Christy started at farmers markets. Yep. And has raised money and rounds along the way and has created an amazing brand that just got into all Costco. So I am honored. I have been watching Christy's journey since she launched and has been a huge inspiration to me as I've been launching mine. So thank you. It's an honor to have you here, Christy.
I feel like I met Jill. I don't remember where we met, but I remember we swam together at a swimming pool, a community swimming pool, and she started asking me about business questions, and I was like,
while we were naked and walking around.
She's like, I was at a distillery. I was like, fantastic, let's talk. So yeah, it's a thrill to be here, and I get the wonderful job of introducing these two fine women here to my right. So first, Jessica Reid. I'm gonna put my glasses on. So Jessica Reid is a marketer with 20 years of leadership and management experience, including project development, public relations, social media, advertising, business operations, investment, and strategy. A lifelong learner, Jessica is currently pursuing a Master's of Environment at CU Boulder. Hear me okay?
I mean, I'm having a little trouble with what I'm trying to ask you to put that up. Yeah.
Crank it.
Sorry.
Do we need to crank it? And her favorite Freeland spirit is garden gin, and she likes it in a gimlet, which I love.
Yes, very nice. Yes, I'm clearly bad at sign language though.
And then to her right is Pamela Neferkara. I think I might have just butchered your last name, but close enough. She is an active angel investor and a board member of several companies, including Hannah Anderson. She is a former Nike VP who is now focused on governance, brand strategy, and angel investment for several clients. Her favorite Freeland spirit is bourbon, and she likes to drink it neat, people. Right. Right. Yeah. So shall we go ahead and kick it off? All right. Let's see. So Jill, tell us a little bit about how this started and this Hellbitch headquarters.
Yes, you're all in Hellbitch headquarters. I don't know if people know the story of the Hellbitch. That's our beautiful still up front. I was on an 18-month wait list for her. Finally got it in place and to picture to my brothers, what should her name be? And we'd all grown up reading Lonesome Dove. It was like the family Bible, an old Western. And the Hellbitch was the horse who could not be tamed. Anyway, so the name stuck. It's like the oldest brother was like Hellbitch. So it fits her. So the background story, so I am not from this industry. I fell in love with food and agriculture in Mima Freeland's garden. Mima never touched a drop of booze, but now has a distillery named after her. But I really fell in love with all things growing with her in her garden. Went on to have a career in it. I was in the Peace Corps in Guatemala for a couple of years where I really fell in love with small-scale agriculture. Moved up the Pacific Northwest to farm and was running a nonprofit education farm in East Portland called Zanger Farm. If anybody has been there, about 10,000 kids go every year to learn where good food comes from. So not the most obvious segue into making booze, but I got to know my good friend Corey Carmen. She's a rancher in Eastern Oregon, and we became whiskey drinking buddies and faithful whiskey drinking nights and drinking some very delicious Kentucky bourbon, but talking about how we wish we knew more of the terroir of who grew the grain, what kind of grain, where did it come from, what's that story. A couple more whiskeys go by. Corey was like, I'll grow it if you make it. And that was the birth of Freeland. And when I got really excited about highlighting women in these areas, you don't see too many of us. How many female ranchers do you know? Not many female distillers. So I found Molly Troop. She was our original master distiller. Molly had a background in chemistry, then got her master's in distilling in Scotland, and was running a small distillery in Bend. So I threw her over my shoulder and drug her to Portland, and that was almost 10 years ago. So we've officially been in business for 8 years now, and making deliciousness. So with our gin, which was our first product we came out with, I really wanted to be like, what would my childhood in Mima's garden taste like, plus booze. So I really wanted to use fresh ingredients. The challenge is if you put anything fresh in the hell bitch, it would taste like cooked cucumber or cardboard. Of course, we didn't want that. So we've got a beautiful little unassuming piece of equipment over there. It's a vacuum still. So with our original gin, it's cucumber, mint, rosemary, thyme, honey. Those are all done on a vacuum, which means essentially allows us to distill at about room temperature because of vacuum pressure. And then 14 other botanicals on the hell bitch. And we're one of only 2 distilleries in the world that make our gin by combining those 2 distillation processes. So super unique, super flavorful, really is what makes Freeland Freeland. And we've gone on to add a lot more products. And if y'all want to stick around, whoever's here in person for a little bit of a tour, we can do that after. But that's how we got to where we are. Built a company based on the values of celebration. We want to be a part of any celebration, whether it's a woman sitting at the bar by herself, drinking a delicious cocktail after a hard day of work, whether it's a wedding, a birthday, whatever it is, we want to be a part of celebrations. We're about diversity, about women-founded businesses, and about diversity at every aspect. This is an industry that's lacked a lot in diversity, and we're trying to change that. And deliciousness, so just about bringing as much flavor as possible. Christy and I certainly share that value in the products that we make. So that's who we are, how we came to be.
Fantastic. And you can taste it in every drop. Thank you for all that work. Appreciate it. The world appreciates you. Okay, so Jessica and Pamela, can y'all tell us a little bit about your history with Freeland and just how you've seen it grow and evolve over the years? And
Okay, here we go. Well, Jill is my Mima. Yes, it's a bold statement, I know. But from the day I met her, she has been a North Star, total inspiration, total rock star. I've been in the Bay Area, working in tech for some less inspiring people for decades, and kind of thought I was pretty cool and knew everything. And when I moved to Portland, I met Jill while she was giving her farewell speech at Zinger Farms. It was a fundraiser for Zinger Farms, and the cool farm that shows kids where the food comes from. And she was the outgoing executive director. And I was like, who's that girl? So I got her phone number and I met her at the construction site that week. And like Pamela, I've been with her from the beginning, and I've doubled down on every round. This has been the greatest investment of my life. It's been a huge win for me emotionally, physically, spiritually, and hopefully financially. And in closing, I just want to say the airport, I'm kind of jumping the shark here, but the airport is so exciting because Jill and I have, from the very, very beginning, we've been like, wouldn't it be cool if we're in the airport? And the idea right now that Portland, Oregon is like the beacon of hope for the world. Yes. And that Freeland Spirits would be the way that you get welcomed when you come through security. You see Freeland Spirits and you're like, whoa, this town's different. This town's cool. I want to be here. I want to see it thrive. And I'm just really fortunate to be a part of it. And I hope you join the family. And here's Pamela.
Gosh, if Jill is your Mima, does that make I'm not sure what that makes me. I'm not going to contemplate that. Other people get colds and sound like Lauren Bacall. I unfortunately sound like Minnie Mouse. So please excuse the throat. And there are very few people that could have gotten me out of my bed today. And Jill is one of them. I joined in the beginning because I spent 18 years at Nike working in e-commerce and brand management, digital. And when I left, in addition to starting my own consulting practice, one of the things I said was I wanted to help other people make their dreams come true. And I was introduced to Jill by a former Nike colleague, and I loved the pioneering nature of what she was doing. I loved the idea of breaking into an area where women were unusual and proving to the world that there was no reason why women couldn't be successful distillers. I also had the benefit of learning all about bourbon, which I now enjoy. So that's a perk. And I've stayed and continued to invest time with Jill and her staff because I've just been super impressed with how she really is driving the business. You know, some people lead from behind. Jill leads from the front. She is not hesitant to try new things, to pivot when she needs to pivot. If you look at the bottle, just the uniqueness of the bottle and the statement that the product makes in and of itself is really impressive. So that's why I'm here. My God, and I didn't cough. Okay. Here it comes.
Amazing, so inspiring. So Jill, tell us a little bit about Wefunder. I don't know very much about it personally, and I'm guessing a lot of people don't either. So why are you using the community investment, and how does it work? And how do you plan on using the funds?
Feel free to chime in here, yes. So Wefunder, essentially, this is an incredible tool. You know, once upon a time, you had to be an accredited investor to invest in companies. That meant you needed to have millions. But in the past, it's been almost 10 years, this platform of crowdfunding equity has existed, which is, in my mind, it's democratizing investing. It's allowing people to have the experience of angel investing and being able to come in with really small amounts and be a part of that. I feel like, you know, a lot of times we can't invest in the brands that we love until they go public, and this allows people to be a part of something from the ground up, which is really exciting. So I would say why Wefunder for us, I would say 3 main reasons. One is for 8 years, we have built this incredible community of supporters. And it's like such an honor to me to have, for them to have the opportunity to join me as an owner of the company. And just to grow that together. I want to really emphasize, like, this is not a charitable donation. This is an investment, and we have, you know, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure people get that back plus some. And that is really, that's what differentiates this from some kind of like Indiegogo or whatever, some of those original, you know, campaigns. This isn't a GoFundMe. This is an investment opportunity. And I, you know, take that very seriously. Yes, there are perks along the way. For $500, you get a cocktail every time you fly to PDX. But this is really about investment. So I want people to know that. Another reason is I really think that through this kind of Wefunder campaign, it's an opportunity to create positive change through capital. It's not a Wall Street investment. This is an opportunity to kind of to choose businesses that represent your values. And I would say, you know, Christy and I share the value of great flavor and quality ingredients and fearless leadership. And, you know, I wish I had been at the beginning of Christy's journey and been able to be an investor of that. But it's a really cool way to be able to be a part of something from the ground up, to follow that journey and be a part of that story. Freeland will continue to unapologetically support our values. We will support organizations around reproductive health, around queer rights, we will have drag queens at all of our celebrations, and we're going to continue to do that, just as Christy has been able to continue her values throughout multiple rounds of investment. So I really value that about Wefunder, that it's a chance to really lead with values. And I will say a third of why Wefunder, this is very selfish, but everybody who joins, I think of as a brand new ambassador. Whether you're putting in $100 or you're putting in $100,000, this is a chance. I'm putting you to work, and you can these two gals can attest that I really put my investors to work, but I see everybody as brand ambassadors. So, you know, I can't be in every liquor store, bar all across the country, but you can help me. And you can be out there asking for Freeland and promoting who we are and telling the story along with me. So I see us as a group of storytellers that are all together representing Freeland. So that's a little bit about why Wefunder. And then for what we're doing with the investment. So this is in large part to build out our airport spot. I'm sure some of you have seen as you come through the airport, we are located right after TSA on the DE side, along with a few other kiosks, and all of us are building out our permanent spots right behind that wall, right behind our kiosk, and that's starting in the next couple of weeks, construction is. So the first about 300K of this is to go toward the airport. Beyond that, we're investing in sales and marketing. So we are now in 27 states of distribution, which is super exciting. Our plan is not next year to take on every other state and grow internationally, but to be really smart about how we grow, to go deeper into the states that we're in and slowly take on 3 to 5 more a year and be really smart about that growth. And also investing in e-commerce. Barbara, who is here, is our head of marketing. We have built a really, e-commerce is kind of the level playing field for booze, and I could get into that as far as the legalities of it, but it's an area where we're all essentially equals, and I feel like Freeland has a unique opportunity to be the one at the forefront of e-commerce growth. So we're doing that. We've added a club program just this year. Only the second box has been released. We hope to have 100 members join on by the end of the year and to grow exponentially from there. So those are 2 additional areas as far as growing distribution and e-commerce that we will be investing in under support. Anything to add, gals? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a thought to add. Just when you were talking about Wefunder giving, democratizing investments. When you look across the U.S. economy, we're familiar with the big companies like Nike or Intel or Apple or, whomever. But actually, there are way more privately held companies than there are publicly traded companies. And in fact, the trend has been for less and less companies to go public. They're staying private. Right now, during the government shutdown, nobody is going to be able to go public. So there have been opportunities that just are not available to most of the public. And so I love the democracy, if you will, of Wefunder and the ability to make these kinds of opportunities available to everyone.
And then on the airport side, I just want to add, Jill has a small team of, big team of investor advisors, but a small team of us were helping her with the RFP to get into the airport. And one of the things that made me really proud of PDX and Portland and Freeland was that the things that they were looking for were brands that represented Portland, brands that hired from within, brands that use local ingredients, brands that manufactured here. And so when PDX gave us the opportunity to be in the airport, we had to decide. We got the #1. We had the highest score of all the rating, all the things they were looking for. Basically, tell me you support DEI without saying DEI. And we got the #1. So they said, where do you want to be? And we could have picked the biggest spot. But in true Jill fashion, she chose the most strategic spot. And she said, I want to be right when you come through security, right when you need to get that gift to bring, right when you're exiting. So basically, it's just a really cool strategic spot, and I think it represents the way Freeland Spirits does business. We get cool opportunities because we just do things right because it's in our values, and then we got rewarded for them. And I feel like that's how our customers have come back, and that's how we got the #1 choice spot in the airport.
And I will add to that it's not really just another tasting room. Like, I see the airport as the hub that connects us. There's, like I said, we have 27 states of distribution. If somebody's passing through, like going flying home to Atlanta, we could be like, oh, here are 10 places you can drink Freeland in Atlanta. And so it's that way of connecting us as we plan to grow beyond and even look at international growth we've got this one point that connects us to all of these points of distribution.
We've already discussed it. We're gonna have Honey Mama bars there. We just gotta have a refrigerator. We got it all worked out.
Yeah, I the thing that's resonating with me too is just like how it's a challenging moment right now, and it's just nice to add to the light in any way that you possibly can, and that's very empowering to be able to uplift really positive things that are happening in so many different ways. So thank you for the kind of explanation of all that stuff, and I cannot wait. I end up going through the other side a lot when I fly, and so I gotta start booking different tickets, people. I just gotta cross right over.
And you can see our
give
other
myself
friends.
some time. Yeah, exactly.
The other, there's a bunch of other cool Portland businesses in our little corner. It's
Well, and didn't the
like
Portland airport just win like airport of the world? It should have. Yeah, I mean, it's
stunning.
like, yeah. So it's
Stunning.
pretty amazing. It really is like an adventure. Such a beautiful.
It looks like
Such a
it looks like Jill designed it.
It does. The trees.
Not me, Mom.
So it looks like we were kind of thinking about doing some Q&A. How's that sound?
Yeah.
To everybody. Okay, so we've got a question from Steve, who has already sent in a question. And the question from Steve is, what is the exit plan? And do you have the team in place to support the expansion?
Great question.
So the details of this round, so it's a convertible note, which essentially means it's like a loan, 8% interest, that then will convert to ownership at either a trigger point of selling the company or a trigger point of another round of fundraising. So how do people get their money back? And I want to, of course, state that this is an angel investment. This is some of the riskiest kind of investing you can do. So there is no guarantees in this, but I think these people can attest that I will do absolutely everything in my power to make sure we all win in this. And I believe in this company deeply and our power to have great success. So exit is most likely an acquisition. And that could look like a lot of different ways. Of course, my plan is that we sell to Beyonce.
I like that.
Yeah. But I will say, Christy, actually, you're someone that got me comfortable with saying that it's okay to say the plan is an acquisition. I remember hearing you say that was the goal from the beginning of you launching your company, and my daughter has zero interest in taking this over after me. So there has to be an exit, and that's the most obvious way of people getting their money back. And I knew I was taking on money from investors right when I launched the company, and so I knew I was taking on the responsibility of them getting that back, and that most likely will happen with an acquisition. This isn't the kind of company really that it makes sense for dividend distributions. It's incredibly competitive, capital intensive. Every profit we make, we need to pump back into the company. So we need to grow fast in order to have that kind of exit that we're hoping to have, which could be a strategic. It could be one of the bigger liquor companies. It could be one of the new kind of companies that are entering liquor, like soft drinks. There's breweries that are starting to invest in spirits companies. Or it could be something really interesting, like we join a group of other craft distilleries and we band together to create something bigger that then sells. Or who knows, we could even be the ones making the acquisitions that then that then becomes a powerhouse that can buy out the original investors. So there's a lot of different options. Optionality, I would say, is what we're going for, to have a lot of options ahead of us. And so to create the structure, to create something that where all investors win, and you to have a lot of fun along the way with us. Oh, the team. There's another question about the team. That's from Steve. Thank you, Steve. Steve sent in questions ahead of time. I appreciate that. Do we have the team in place? Honestly, the answer is no. We don't have a team in place right now. This has been a challenging year, as it has been for many small businesses. Tariffs, economy, many challenges. We scaled back our team to really understand how lean can we operate. We are there right now. We're operating super leanly. So with going back into a phase of growth, there are some missing pieces. I would say we need an operation. back here, we are a bunch of creatives, I would say. We need some operations to make this as strategic as possible, to have a great operating plan, and to make sure our growth functions as efficiently as possible going forward. E-commerce, Barbara's doing an incredible job of growing this club, growing our e-commerce sales as much as possible. She's going to need some help to take that to the next level. And then sales support, as 27 states is a lot for me to manage. And so bringing on some help to really be smart about how we grow, how we work with our distributors. So there are a few missing positions. So beyond the airport build out, as we're looking to grow and be smart with this next phase, there will be a little bit more to add to the team, but I'm really proud of the team we have. We are incredibly scrappy. We've been scrappy from the beginning. I will say there are only 5% of distilleries that reach the volume that we have reached nationwide, and that 5% has brought on way more investment capital than we have to get there. We have done it in a very small and scrappy way, and putting our investors to work as employees sometimes. But we will continue to be scrappy, but also recognize there's only so much our limited team can do, and they've all grown within their positions so much, and it's time to give them a little more support. So those are the next steps. Thanks for the questions ahead of time, Steve. Is there any more that have come in, Barbara? Okay. People are maybe questions.
I was just going to say, it's so fun to look around at just the faces in this room and see the interest and anticipation and kind of hopeful excitement around being able to be a part of something like this, and just the energy that's kind of happening with you three. It's just, I'm just kind of thrilled to be a part of it. And so, yeah, if there's any other questions, we got one right over here. We got a live one, people.
How long will the build out take at the airport when you get that opening and face the requirement?
I should repeat the question.
Yeah, thank you. The question was the timeline for building out the airport, and will we require additional financing rounds beyond that? March 4th is the anticipated opening date for us, so we'll be kicking off construction in the next few weeks. We've got our contractor on board, all is set to go. And then, so this is a convertible note that will convert in the next 3 years. And that will be triggered by either another financing round, a price financing round, or sell the company. So we'll be looking at both of those. The industry is going through a bit of turmoil. And so I don't see the industry in a place to acquire brands in the next year. 25% of craft distilleries closed in 2024, and more have closed this year. Breweries, wineries are experiencing similar pains, and therein lies an opportunity to be one of the ones left standing. We already have a good distribution base. I would say over the last 8 years, we've gone through the biggest hurdles, and now we get to grow on those lessons that we've learned. I think we're really in a well-poised place to be one of those brands that rises above after this reset that the industry is experiencing. So what would either kick off another fundraising round is that we're growing at such a rate that we want to fuel that and pump a lot more in with another round of investing. Or we found Beyonce or another, acquisition partner that's ready to go and ready to take us to the next level, hopefully allow us to grow on the values and the brand that we've developed and take that to the next level at that point. So we kicked this off, the friends and family round that these gals participated in, and that was followed by a convertible note among that group of investors that then converted at a Series A round that closed last year. It was led by an industry VC group, and then several of our investors joined in on that round too. So then that converted, so this is the next convertible round beyond that.
Obviously, the states are distributed here, but in other states, who are some of your distributors?
Good question. So we have we have made every mistake in the world of distribution. Everything from being with too big of a distributor to too small of a distributor. And you know this industry pretty well. So they're open and control states. We're in a control state here, so that means the state of Oregon is our distributor. In a state like California, you have to have, I can't sell directly to Whole Foods. I have to go through a distributor to make that happen. So originally we were with a small mid-sized distributor. It was pretty good. And then they sold to a giant distributor, and that was terrible because we get lost in a sea of many companies. We ended that contract. They tried to get $117,000 from us to end that contract. We gave them about $4,000 at the end. So that went okay. And then now we're with about a mid-sized distributor in California. I can call the owner anytime I want and he'll answer the phone. We can have that kind of relationship. And up to 27 states, those are the distributors that we're with, that we've found that sweet spot. They're not too small that they don't have enough accounts, and they're not too giant that we don't just get lost in the sea of things. We're not just a number. Like, we are looking for distributors that they believe in what we're doing. Their representatives are actually out selling for us, and they're our true partners. So that's what we've spent 8 years developing. There's the right fit for the right distributors. So this round will be up to $1 million. I believe we're at about 200K so far. And so, like I said, the first 300 is going toward the airport. Beyond that is going toward sales and marketing growth. Second part of the question, the industry and the downturn. So I have lots to say on this. So where the industry was in 2019, I was looking at a growth like this. COVID comes. We all start drinking a lot. We pivoted very fast and created what we called the booze through. Some of you may have participated in, where we realized people didn't really know how to make cocktails at home. We started making fresh mixers. People would order online. We would bring your order, fill it, put it in your trunk, and off you would go. So that was fun. They were fun times. I mean, it was obviously a terrible reason, but it was. But we learned that we can respond to anything, and we can respond really fast. So again, if you're looking at this as the growth of the industry, COVID happened and it went like this. And so now it's kind of we're trying to get back to where it was. And actually, if you look to where it started in what it was projected to do in 2019, it's actually higher than what it was projected to be. It just got thrown way off during COVID times. That being said, there is a total, everything's changing, right? People are drinking less. Cannabis is having an impact. Ozempic and weight loss drugs are having an impact. There's a lot of things impacting our industry right now that aren't necessarily just the economy or tariffs, but it's actually a change in the way people are drinking. And what's great about being a small craft size is you can really quickly respond to that. We have been making seasonal liqueurs for a while, lower ABV, a little sweeter. That's where the market is right now. They want that. The ones that are drinking want something that's a little lighter, so we can quickly do that. You could go in front and have an incredible mocktail, and we've wanted that from the beginning. Looking at making a non-alcoholic Amaro as the first non-alcoholic spirit that we're adding. I'm sure some of you have tasted some NA spirits. There's a long way to go in the development of them, and we want to be at the forefront of making really quality ones. So that's what's cool about being small and craft, is you can be at the forefront of that change. So happy to follow up questions.
I think Stan wanted to make a comment based on their question. Let's see. Oh, I'm so sorry, Stan. I don't believe your voice is coming through.
Re-enter and send it into the chat.
Let's see.
You hear this now?
Oh, there we go. We can hear you.
Yeah. If you believe me, you know my voice if you hear it, or vice versa. Anyway, Big shout out. Love the bourbon. Just love the bourbon. And I drink bourbon from a lot of places, for better or worse. Thank you for answering the questions in detail. And if I'm asking any questions that you've already answered, the first 5 minutes, my audio was giving trouble. Quick question though, do you have any LinkedIn presence or anything like that? Because given the causes that that you subscribe to, I'm down here in the Bay Area, surrounded by liberals, no problem. I'm probably one in the closet too. It's fine. But point being, if I start, I can get we can all get your message out to a lot of other folks if we have that kind of presence. Do you have anything on LinkedIn?
Yeah, feel free to look us up on LinkedIn. We're actively present. We promoted this event on LinkedIn and more.
Okay.
Instagram, I think we're up to almost 22,000 followers, which is pretty exciting. So we're super active on all things social media. And we highly encourage people to follow and to share and to get our word out that way. Thanks.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I kind of have a technical question, so I'm just curious. Why Wefunder? There are a lot of different crowdsourcing platforms. iFund is certainly one of them. It's an alternative. I'm just curious, what support do they provide, or what do they offer you that was advantageous?
Yeah, great question. So there are a lot of different options. Some have got rows to the, but on it's part. Wefunder helps promote us to a big pool, and it's bigger than a lot of the other platforms have access to. So that's one. It's they take a lower percentage than a lot of them. So that's another. Their team has been remarkably helpful in helping us get it set up. There's a lot of legal hoops to jump for. It's part of what makes this so attractive is that investors can go on and put 100 or thousands on, and it's super simple. Like if we're going through a round with just accredited investors, the amount of paperwork, the amount of support that they have to have just on their end is pretty big to become an investor. So this allows a platform that just makes it super simple, super user friendly, and friendly to the business too. And it's just been great support. Yes. Thank you.
I don't have any exposure to you guys. What's your pitch to, let's say, New Hampshire's a distributor in New Hampshire where you're not distributed? Like, why would they want?
New Hampshire is a great example. We are distributed. It's a great state for us. I love New Hampshire. One that we're not in, right?
Yeah.
It's a great question. So we're not in Texas. We're not in Florida. I'm from Texas.
It's a crime that you're not in Texas.
It's a crime that I'm not in Texas. But to enter a state like that, you really need to go in with a lot of money. It is a very chain-driven store. You need to go in with a lot of incentives for the distributor team behind you. You need to go in with a lot of deals. It's a racket. We could talk about the racket. Yeah, so those are hard. What I love are states like Minnesota's probably one of our best states of distribution. Big brands aren't trying to go and win Minnesota. But there's like Minneapolis and Portland have a huge affinity for each other, and they are huge Freeland fans. And I can go and hit a lot of stores and bars in Minneapolis, where it's like going to New York. It's going to take me just physically way more time to get around the city. So those mid-sized markets, Kansas, great Freeland fans. So it's looking at like not the sexiest places to be, but the places that are overlooked, that are giddy when a distiller comes to town and we can do an event and 100 people show up. And it's having, again, that distributor. In Minnesota, our distributor happens to be a team of almost all women, which is absolutely unheard of in the distributor world. And they get the message. They can tell that message in a way that a lot of others can't. So that's who we're looking for when we're partnering. New Hampshire is a control state. You get accepted by the state. You get automatic placement in every store. So that's super cool, but you have to sell through to stay in the state. So Pennsylvania, sorry, this is a long answer to the question, but the state of Pennsylvania is also a control state. They tested about 160 different bourbons. We were one of 2 that they brought on into the state. So there is a lot of competition, but we're keep proving that we can persevere and be one that rises above.
Can you talk a little bit about the vision for the airport space?
So when we wanted to go into the airport, again, it's like the Portland airport is remarkable in that it really focuses on Portland businesses. There aren't a lot of airports that are like that. So it's featuring like the best of Portland, and we wanted to be a part of that. We've had the fortune of having a kiosk for the last year. So we know we do well there. We know this is kind of like a guarantee as far as the success we can have in the airport. It's steady. It's 20,000 people, or sorry, 20 million people will go through that airport in a year. So the brand exposure is massive, especially being right after TSA. You can't miss us. We're the first front thing you see. I would say even if it wasn't a moneymaker, just that brand exposure would be awesome for us. And so that stays with people. You pass through it, whether you buy a bottle or not, you're going to have it in your head. You see it on the back bar, and you're like, oh, I've seen that before. So it's a chance to not only buy a bottle, but you can drink cocktails now with this cool spot and have that experience. You can learn, sit there, have a drink, learn about our club program, sign up right there, become a member, and we can ship you a cocktail box every quarter. It's also a chance to represent a lot of other Freeland brand or women-owned brands that exist in Portland. So you can be like, oh, what would be delicious with this cocktail? Some Honey Mama's chocolate that I could take with me. So it's a chance to share our values of women-owned businesses and supporting them at the airport as well. Question. I'm not going to push somebody that, come on back. I'm not going to push, somebody to do a bigger investment or 100 or 250. I would say do what's comfortable for you, what feels meaningful. And for us, it is all meaningful. So whatever is meaningful to you is super meaningful to us. And I appreciate any level. And like I said, to begin with, this isn't just about raising $1 million. This is about building brand ambassadors. And I hope, you feel like you feel proud of the investment at whatever level that you make and that you're out there helping me spread the good word of Freeland spirits. Do y'all have anything to add to any of these? Or
First, we got to welcome Johan to the family.
Yes.
Yeah, Johan. I was gonna add, not to mention, do you know how much cool cred you get when you can say to your friends, oh, I'm an investor in Freeland spirits?
Has that gone a long way for you?
That's gone a long way. A long way for an old lady, for sure.
Yeah, I like to double down on what she said. And also, it just makes gift giving really easy because everybody knows that I back for the home team. And I'm either giving you a Freeland bottle or some cool vendor that was at a pop-up at Freeland. And it is really cool. And the other fun thing that happens is my friends know how meaningful Freeland has been for me. And when they're out in the world and they see Freeland in a bar, especially when it's like, who knew it's in New Hampshire, some funny place where it's unexpected, I get a text message. Or I get a picture of somebody giving it to somebody that they love and care about on their birthday. And so it's just really fun to be a part of a brand that everybody gets excited when they open nobody is ever like, oh, bummer, So it's really, really, really great. So women owned, queer friendly, gorgeous bottle, and the products are always delicious. Like you never have a bad Freeland drink. So it's just been wonderful. Yeah, I'm super proud of you, and I think everybody should check out the perks because we don't want to push you higher than you want to, but some of those perks are pretty cool. So yeah, exactly, that's it, what she said. And yeah, I just think it's fabulous. And the idea of getting into the airport and being like, those are my people. I think it's a great opportunity.
Sales growth over the last year looked like for Freeland?
We've grown every year that we've been in operation, which is super exciting, especially, but flat is the new growth, I would say, at least in the last couple of years of this industry. So we are still growing, which is exciting. I would say growth has certainly slowed over the last few years. And again, part of that is just trying to stabilize for us too, and scaling back a little on team and knowing that has a little bit of impact on sales, but trying to find that sweet spot because we do still want to grow. But trying to be, it's not just skyrocket growth at all cost. Going forward, it's growing really smart strategically. So look, we'll do about 2.8 million this year in revenue, and looking to get to 4 million next year, and then beyond that, I'm really trying to take this round and get this to a $10 million business. It gets to be a point where it's really attractive for acquisition.
Related to that, what is your profit?
We are not profitable yet. 2026 should be profitable. I will not say will be profitable, but it's very rare for a craft spirits brand to be profitable at less than 10 million in revenue, and we've got a plan to do that at 4 million.
So your facility at the airport, will it be exclusively selling cocktails? What is the sales structure look like?
Yeah, not exclusively bottles. It will be bottles, so we certainly want to encourage bottle sales. That's all we're doing at the airport right now, but it's going to be cocktails as well. A lot of retail, lots of Freeland merch, but also other businesses, particularly things that will go into kits, like, our barreled bee honey. She used to be at one of our distillers, and she ages honey and used whiskey barrels. So you could get a bottle of bourbon and some barreled bee honey and a Freeland whiskey mug, and partnering with a bunch of different brands that you can put together kits that are perfect for a cocktail to make at home.
Beer.
Oh, sure, yeah. So we'll also serve beer, wine, and then also those bottles to go as well. A lot of other retail locations are surprised, actually, like Cinder Loving Empire sells a lot of wine and beer too. So yeah, we'll have other options. We won't have other spirits options, but other. I wish. I would love that. If there, yeah. So they asked if any plans to partner with Portland Fire.
Portland Fire, call us.
Call us. Great
Come
question.
on
I have found a lot of these are just way too out of reach for us economically to do these partnerships in a meaningful way, and it's not like yet. And you're not guaranteed placement in the stadium necessarily. So for us, it's like if we're going to invest at that level, I want Freeland in the stadium. So yes, I would love that. I don't want to be frivolous with our investor money though. So I want it to be smart, make sure that that's right. That obviously, women's sports like that's the dream, right? But for now, what we can do is partner with a rugby team in Minnesota or a roller derby team somewhere else. Like there are these kind of cult following things that we can enter in at a much lower level and build a brand among our people. Still, it doesn't necessarily have the level of attention of the Portland Fire, but work our way.
And all the women's sports bars feature Freeland, pretty much. Yeah. So we've gone into states because they have a women's sports bar.
Well, and I was just going to say, honestly, my 2 cents is that I think with the Portland Fire, like having that exposure with what you guys are planning to do at the Portland airport, the Portland Fire is bound to become in our direction just from that mere exposure, right?
I was going to add to this conversation. For me, one of the cool things about being an investor has been opening my network to Jill. So we love all of these ideas, but even more importantly, if someone out there has a contact or, you know, can make an introduction, those are the things that, where you can add even more value as an investor.
It is so, it is, I just am gonna say one more thing that I was thinking about when you were talking about how you're putting the money to use, and I feel like growing a business is so hard. Having a small business, you start from an idea, it's nothing, you turn it into something, and the fact that you all have chosen to put all this energy and money into the Portland Airport idea during this time with all these different potential directions that you could go. I don't know, I just felt really inspired to just kind of shout out to a brilliant, that's just really, really brilliant, and I'm just so proud and happy to be part of this conversation, and also just to know you as a person and excited for the direction of where you guys are heading. So cheers.
Last question. So we've got compounded annual growth rate of, I believe it's about 36% since we launched in 2018. If that answers questions. Last questions? Last comments?
Go.
Let's go. Yeah, so hop online, send in your investments. And yeah, welcome to the family, and you'll be hearing from us along the way. There's lots of fun perks, as we said, and I'll send out regular updates. So news from the construction site and beyond. So really appreciate. Oh, I think we've got. Actually, you can't, unfortunately. You could leave it as this was like a note or something, but you can't gift an investment and you can't put it in somebody else's name. It has to be your own for legal reasons. But you know, we could always honor somebody through the investment, or you know, add a name, but it has to legally be the person that's actually using the dollars. Thanks, everyone. Please stay for cocktails. Today is actually the release party for our wheated whiskey, our wheated bourbon. So this is a bourbon that's a high wheat content. We finished it for an average of 6 months in Bauman cider barrels. Bauman cider is a women-owned cidery here in Portland. So having a release party with that, it's available online to purchase as well. So yes, cheers, everyone. Appreciate all of you.